What is up, guys? So as you can tell from the title of the video, I bought the cheapest S15 Silvia in Canada. I was scrolling on Marketplace one night and I found this listing that was just posted for $18,500 for this Spec S manual Silvia, and it has the aero package with the side skirts and the wing. And it really caught my eye, so the next morning I went and looked at it and I ended up making a deal. So I didn't actually end up paying $18,500 because that would have been way overpriced for this car. But I'm going to show you guys why this car was so cheap, and at the end I'll tell you how much I actually paid for the car. So starting off, this car was missing the front bumper when I picked it up. I'll show you guys a picture of the condition it was in that I picked it up in. This car actually looks 10 times better than what I picked it up in, believe it or not. Second off, this fender was literally dented in. I had to replace that. Thankfully, the fender came with the car, but it didn't have the holes for the side strake, so I had to drill that out, which was kind of tedious, but I got it done. The car is mostly rust-free besides this part here on both sides, so we're definitely gonna have to give this car a full respray or wrap it. If you come along to the back here, something happened here and the bumper is not lined up with the trunk, so gonna have to do some alignment with that before we paint the car or wrap it. The biggest thing, this car didn't even run when I bought it. I had to pull start it just because the starter was out. So I had to end up tracking down a starter and replacing that. Before that, like I said, literally when I went to pick the car up, I had to hook my CRV up to it, pull it, and then pop start it. The interior is not too bad, but me and my buddy Rupi had to give it a big clean. It was disgusting when we picked it up. But now it's not looking too bad, and it should be a good project. So that brings us to what I actually paid for it. Or actually, check out the hood. The paint on the rest of the car is really messed up too. And there's the rust spot on this side too. But yeah, going back to the question that you guys want to know what I paid for it. I paid $14,750 for this S15 Silvia, which makes it the cheapest in the country. And honestly, I think it's not bad. Let me know what you guys think, if I overpaid for it or if it's a not bad price to pay. I think it was not too bad, but we need to do something about the engine because this thing is really slow, so stay tuned for that. So I recorded everything we've done to the car so far, and I will be recording everything else we do to it as well. But for now, I'm gonna show you guys the clips of the stuff we did to the car to make it look how it does now. All right, we've got the Project S15 in the garage. But first things first, we gotta figure out why this car doesn't start. As you can see, it doesn't crank. It just has you can hear the starter motor engage, but it doesn't turn over. So we're gonna get this car jacked up and then pull the starter out. Alright, as you can see, the starter is right there. So it's just two bolts holding it into the transmission, and then a couple power cords on the back of it. So I'm gonna get that pulled out right now. Shouldn't be too bad, but let's see how this goes. Alright, we just got the starter out, and we actually had to end up, since this car is right-hand drive, we had to take the steering shaft off just because it was getting in the way and we couldn't pull the starter out without doing that. But now I think what I might do is try and bench test this and see if it works at all. But I don't think it's gonna. So we just bench tested it and it indeed does not work. So while we figure out if we're gonna replace that or try and get it rebuilt, we are going to start cleaning the car because it is absolutely filthy in here. Like, there's dirt everywhere. I think we're actually gonna even pull out the seats just so we can get a really good clean on it. But there's no rips or anything in them. It just needs a vacuum. So let's get it going. Check out this disgusting mess. Shit's nasty. Seats out. It's super easy, just 4 bolts around the seat. Yeah, just 4 bolts, comes right out. All right, check it out. It's day 2. Everything's all dried up now, and it's looking absolutely amazing. Like, check out these carpets now. They were absolutely filthy and disgusting. All these crevices were dirty. We did a little bit of extracting on the seats and the carpets as well, but even the back is so clean now. Obviously, the seats have wear on them. They're not perfect. They have some wear over here and a cigarette hole, but compared to what we started with, it's looking a million times better, and we are just getting started. I cannot wait to get some other stuff done on this car. I also ended up going ahead and cleaning out the back a bit. This one was really bad, so I did the best I could with it. I think in the summer I might just take it out and wash it or something, or try and get a replacement, but it's still looking really, really good. But yeah, I'm just waiting on a starter for this car. I still haven't been able to find one, but hopefully I can get the original one rebuilt or find another one soon, and then this car will be back on the road. So the next thing I want to tackle is this fender over here. I don't know how that happened or when it happened. This is how I bought the car, but thankfully I got a spare replacement fender with the car. But the only problem is the replacement fender doesn't have holes behind here for this piece over here. As you can see, this is an Aero car, and some of them didn't come with that, and those fenders didn't have the holes. So we're gonna have to try and figure out how to replicate the holes that are under here. Once I take this piece off, you'll see what I'm talking about, but we're gonna have to replicate those holes on the new fender so that piece can clip back in like OEM. So that might take some time, but I'm gonna go ahead and tackle removing this fender. All right, check it out. I finally got the fender off. There was definitely some hidden bolts on this guy here. So there's a bolt that goes here, but it's actually put in from behind. So you need to take the fender liner off for that one. That one's a bit tricky to get to, but other than that, it's pretty easy. Just a few bolts up here, 3 along the top, 2 at the bottom, and then the one I pointed out, and 1 up there, and then also 2 fender liner bolts, I believe, and then there's the marker light. But yeah, fender is off, so now we can start mocking up the new fender. But this is what I was talking about. These clips here are where the side strake actually clips into. So yeah, this is that piece there that needs to go just like that right there. But our new fender over here, right here, does not have the holes. So this needs to go just like that. But I'm gonna show you guys a little hack on how to make your life really, really easy when transferring over holes like that, just so everything lines up perfectly. So this is that hack I was telling you guys about to trace these holes over. So what you want is a piece of pre-mask. You can get this at any local vinyl shop, any place that makes stickers, and just run it along the body line. And then I trimmed it along this back body line. And I even went and trimmed the front up and marked 2 holes that are up here. Just so when I put this on the other fender, I know it's in the exact spot that it needs to be. And then you have your holes there, and it's just as easy as cutting these holes out, and everything will line up perfectly. So as you can see, now I've got this piece taped onto the new fender, and as you can see, these are the points we need to drill. The back edge completely lined up. This one's completely lined up. And even these holes, it's hard to see, but they're exactly in the spot they need to be. So these are guaranteed to be in the right spot. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and drill these out real quick, and then that should be all we need to do. So I took this drill bit, a little bit smaller in size, and got these holes mostly drilled out. You don't want to go with the exact size drill bit just because it's super hard to get the exact center. So that's why I recommend a little bit smaller, and then I'm just gonna take the Dremel and slowly work out the rest of the holes. So there you have it. We've got our 3 holes, and these push in perfectly. You always want to go ahead and just put some paint on the exposed metal. You can get these paint pens at any local auto parts store and just touch it up. I did the front and back sides of the exposed metal just so it doesn't rust. And then I had a little loopsie obviously here, but that's hidden, so no worries there. But yeah, now we can get those clips in after this paint dries, and then we can get this fender on the car. We finally have the new fender on, and check out these gaps. It's literally like OEM. I spent some time tinkering with the bolts and the fitment just because my OCD can't have any funky gaps. But check this piece out. It's literally like OEM. All the extra work was worth it. And you can't even tell that we actually drilled those holes ourselves. But yeah, now I'm gonna get the bumper back on, and then the fender replacement is complete. All right, it's been a few days, and I've actually managed to track down a replacement starter finally. I've bench tested it, and it works fine. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this in, and then hopefully our starting issues are fixed. All right, so I just finished putting this new starter in, and check this out. The car finally starts right up. Sounds great. Now at least I can be moving the car around if I need to until we figure out what we're gonna be doing with this engine, because this engine is definitely not going to stay naturally aspirated. So we're either going to be swapping it or just turboing this engine, but that will be in the future. So another thing that's been bothering me is whenever we turn the fan on from here, it makes a really annoying clicking sound almost. I'll show you here in a second. Let's see if it does it here. You hear that, guys? Sometimes when the car is outside in the cold, it's a lot worse than that. Right now it's actually not too bad, but I'm guessing the blower motor is going bad. So I found a blower motor from a part out near me, and I picked up a replacement one that is apparently good. And it's just 3 bolts, super easy to change. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if that fixes the noise. Alright, so this is the setup here. This here is the blower motor, and there's 3 screws. 1, 2, and there's a third right here. But yeah, you take those 3 screws out and it will drop. There's just one connector for it. It goes on the side here. And to get to the screw on the left side here, you got to take out 3 bolts for the ECU just so it can fold over. You have enough access to it. But other than that, it's super easy. The new blower is in and it's running right now, and it sounds a lot better than it did before. And I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of feels like this one's pumping a lot more air than the old one. But as you can see, it's in there. It's working good. I hope you guys enjoyed those little clips of us working on the car and transforming it to what it looks like right now. I know it's not much, but it's a lot better than when we picked it up. But comment what color you would like to see this car, if I should keep the original color or if I should change it up, go with a different color. And let me know what else you guys want to see done on this car.